Welcome to Eventful Endeavors, secrets to crafting the perfect celebration. If you're planning an event and looking for useful tips from industry experts, you're in the right place. So get ready to take some notes and we'll dive right in. This is Eventful Endeavors.
Hello, everybody. This is Steve. I am an event specialist and performer with Felix and Fingers Dueling Pianos. Today, I am your host for this podcast, Eventful Endeavors, and we've got some very charming guests today. I'll let them tell you where they're from and let them introduce themselves. So, ladies, would you like to say hello?
Hello, I'm Leah with the venue at Lilly. And I'm Rhonda. And we're from
Awesome.
the area. We're in Bright, Alabama.
Yes. Awesome. The venue at Lilly Lou's, the Pines, right?
Yes.
Isn't that correct?
That is.
Just want to make
Yes.
sure we get it right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, the Pines. Very important because we are amongst the Pines.
All right. Awesome. Well, we're looking forward to hearing some about your venue and some of your thoughts and everything. Let's go ahead and do some basic introductions. Tell me a little bit about yourself and maybe how you got into this and however you want to get us started here today.
Okay, I can start off with that if you want me to. Yeah. So our background was actually originally in the medical billing world. So we actually own a medical billing company. We were the owners, and it grew a little bit, probably bigger than what we thought it was going to be. And we just decided we were going to sell that, and we were actually going to start what is it called? Like a booth rental, antique booth rental store. That did not bring money, and it actually cost us more money. It was fun, but we were spending more than we were making. So we realized real quick that was not going to work. So Rhonda came up with the idea of maybe wedding rental. And so we started off as a wedding rental company. We had a 20-foot trailer, a box truck, and we just traveled to all these other venues and just started decorating and got really, really busy and realized that was the hardest job of our lives. We really needed to be 20 years younger when we started that business, and we needed to have a lot more help.
I feel that way sometimes.
Yeah. So we just decided that we would own our own wedding venue and not go and decorate and travel all over the world decorating and setting up what we felt like was setting up movie sets, really.
Right.
That's what we felt like we were doing. But so we decided to have our own wedding venue. Our friends of ours owned a feed and seed and garden center, and it was actually empty. And so we just kind of decided, let's revamp that, remodel that, and create a wedding venue there. And then we found property here. We're about 35 minutes from downtown Chattanooga. So we found some property here in Bryant, and we decided to build from ground up. And that is how we became the Pines.
Awesome. Well, so you say you're just for people who don't know the area, you're in Bryant. It's about 35. You're kind of close to everything.
Yes.
Right? But just outside of everything. Okay. So just over the state line there in Alabama.
Yes.
Up on Sand Mountain.
Yes. And we get a lot. So we tend to pull a lot from like Huntsville, Nashville, Atlanta, Birmingham, Chattanooga, not as many, which is weird because we're 35 minutes from downtown Chattanooga. So
that's going to change.
You think?
We're going to change that. We're going to change that.
I think so. I hope so, because we love, the Huntsville, the Nashville, the Birmingham, the Atlanta. It's just so odd that we don't have a lot of Chattanooga.
Well, your place is amazing, and I'd like to hear a little bit more about that. Tell us more about your venue, how getting it started, and what the process was like.
We just happened upon the property. We actually were supposed to be on the other side of the road, and we got the address wrong. And so we found this property, and we started kind of
the sign. Well, the sign, the for sale sign, it was for sale by owner.
Yeah.
The property across the street actually was for sale through a realty company. And so the sign was actually on the ground. It had fallen down, and we just walked across the street for some weird reason and found it laying on the ground. Yeah. So
we kind of started walking around, and you really can't see until you go down into, our driveway is really long, and until you get down here, you don't see the view. Once we saw that, we were like, oh, this is beautiful. Now we had to, start from scratch, like the clearing and all of that. We designed it. We mapped it out on printer paper that was taped together and colored pencils, and that's what we took to the bank.
Yes, that is such a great
We have to frame that.
Yeah,
Really,
yeah.
we
great
need
story.
to
You
frame
still
that.
have it?
We do.
We do.
Yeah. Oh, you should. You should. Absolutely. I think that's great. Well, that's such a great story that you weren't even looking for this property and yet you stumbled upon it. You say somehow, I think it was just meant to be
Yes.
that you found that. That's
Yeah.
great. Really good. Okay. So then you just drew up these plans and everyone was like, yep, that'll be great. And the bank said, here's some money. And that was it.
Oh,
Right?
yeah. Well, kind of, sort of. Yeah. We are not. We originally wanted to be in a different location here on the property. We were
Hmm.
supposed to be up on the hill, kind of overlooking. But when the guy that was doing our dirt work and dozer work, he was like, I can't fit everything there. So he kind of
Oh,
helped us find the location that we actually are sitting on, which it
okay.
turned out great because we
It
do have
did.
the tree deck up there now that
Yeah.
overlooks. It worked out.
Yeah.
But that's not exactly how we had it in our minds.
Right.
But at least we got the tree deck. I
Yeah.
mean, that was a big thing because we really wanted that overlook.
Hmm.
It's just the all three buildings would not fit up there.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you draw it out
On printer paper.
on printer paper and you don't have you don't have like a probably an architect or a contractor that luckily our dozer guy
Yes.
he was phenomenal and he was like, okay ladies, we're gonna have to readjust here, and he actually helped us a lot.
Yes, he did.
Oh, that's awesome. All right. Well, that's great. Well, you mentioned tree deck. Tell us a little bit about what you have there on the property. Tell us a little bit about the buildings and how you have it arranged and everything.
So we are usually, if we start a tour, when you drive in, you come to a large parking lot. It's the overflow parking lot. So that's the first thing you see. And then you drive through the gates and come down the hill. And we have overnight cottages. That's usually where the tour starts. We will drive everybody up in the golf cart, let them look at the cottages. Then from there, you can come down. The tree deck is next, and that does overlook the rest of the buildings. And then we come down, we have Candlelight Pavilion, which is an open pavilion. It has a cover on it. So if it's rain, that is your rain plan, unless it's just a really
Great.
bad storm. Then the middle building is where dressing rooms, prep kitchen, restrooms, all of that is in the middle. And then the next building over is the conservatory, which is just the clear building. And that's just the layout of how we have the pond behind us, plenty of picture area, for those pretty pictures. So
Yeah. And you're in the conservatory now.
we are in the conservatory now.
So I can see only a little bit behind you, but it's all glass,
Mm-hmm.
the building.
Yeah, the doors, they are like double doors. They can be opened. All of them open up. If it's pretty weather, that is my recommendation, because it's really just, I love both doors open.
Yes, very nice. Which we have perfect weather sometimes in the spring and fall more often, would you say?
Yes.
Sometimes in the winter, right?
Yeah.
We have great, actually, our November and December weddings were phenomenal. Yeah. We had the best
Awesome.
weather. And of course we do our conservatory. It's not necessarily glass. It's like a clear polycarbonate, which keeps
Okay.
it from getting so hot. It's actually something that when we built this structure, we were advised to kind of go that route just to try to keep it from getting so hot. But we
Right.
do have heat and air units in here. So even in the wintertime, we've had, it's been great. Summertime. Now we do ask, like, if they're July and August weddings, we like our couples to kind of, maybe have their ceremony around 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And that way when they get in here, it's nice and cool. So that
Right.
helps a lot.
Okay. Yeah, that makes perfect sense what you're describing, the material, so it's not just glass, it doesn't turn into an oven,
Yes.
while
Correct.
you have guests inside. So
Correct.
they don't actually get baked while they're there. That
Right.
sounds great. Yeah, very nice. Okay, so tell me a little bit then, why the name Lilly Lou's? Can we get
Yes.
some background
So-
here?
Yes, that is from our maternal grandmothers. One was Luann and one was Lily Catherine. And so Luann, I think they called her, I don't know if it was Luanna, but Lou, and then Lily. And so we just decided, hey, what better way to name our business than after our grandmothers who we love dearly.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
so that's how we got the name, was Lily Lou.
That's awesome.
Actually, it came up a little bit differently. I mean, we love, using our grandmother's name, but she actually had a dog named, was it Lou?
Lou, yeah.
Lou. And so I don't know, we just started thinking Lou, and then it just happened.
Okay. Okay. I think that's important that everyone use a venue that was named after a dog. That's very important. That's a really good thing to.
Yeah. I don't know how we just said, we were just talking one day
Yeah.
and we were like, Lou. And then
Yeah.
we just
Nice.
come up with Lily Lou from our grandmother. So we were
Yeah.
kind of nice.
Must be a special dog.
Very.
That's my guess.
And then her granddaughter is also named Lily. So yeah, it works out.
Nice. Well, that's awesome. That's beautiful. So it is all in the family. That's great to know.
On the
Now, I think you mentioned when the people first come in, you show them the cottages. Tell us a little bit about. You've got some accommodations there for people to stay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, we have one small that can sleep up to 4. It's the cobblestone.
Mhm.
We have the camellia, which is
Mm.
Alabama state flower, so that's why it's camellia.
Yeah.
It can sleep up
Right.
to, I believe it's 8, and then Timberland sleeps 8 as well.
Yeah.
And how important is that you have some place where people can stay? And is that something that people would say, "Oh, that's a really good thing. I can see why that's of value." Tell us a little bit about that.
So it is great because one, they can have rehearsal dinner here. We have a rehearsal dinner package. So they not only can
Mm.
come to the venue, check in like at 2 Eastern, 1 Central, they can enjoy their time, not feel rushed, and they can, go get cleaned up, get ready for rehearsal dinner. We do all the work for them. They just have to bring in the food. And then from there, they just relax and enjoy their time. And that's our main thing because
Yeah.
of our background of used to going and decorating weddings, we were always feeling rushed as decorators. We always felt like we were rushed, you know, getting to the venue, leaving the venue, because a lot of venues, they require you to be out by, 11 or 12. And when you're having to break everything down, load it all up, we just didn't want that feeling for our couples. We actually wanted them
Right.
to
Right.
enjoy the experience and relax.
That sounds amazing. You don't want them to have to pull up in the truck and do all of the. Now you had another. Did you tell me that you had another location before that you were using?
Yes.
And was that something that you built as well?
No, so the location that we had before, it was an existing old retired feed and seed store.
Mm.
And it was a family friend that owned it.
Okay.
And so when we saw it, we liked some of the things that it had on the property. And so we just thought, well, let's revamp it and make it a venue. And it was a lot of work. Probably if we had known up front what we'd figured
Yeah.
out in the end, I'd not have done it, but it did turn out pretty. And we found out a lot with remodel, a lot of times the expense of moving, like maybe
Mm.
water lines, you're gonna have to just leave them there,
Oh.
and that's what we had to do. We necessarily didn't want the prep kitchen where it ended up, but because the price of moving it and what it would have cost, we just couldn't. And the restrooms, we ended up having to build the floor up so plumbing could go underneath. So there was a lot
Oh,
of
right.
things we had to kind of reimagine to make it work. Whereas here we started from scratch, so we kind of got to do what we wanted, and
Yep.
we loved that part.
Yeah. But that location, so one thing about it, when, nobody else could see the vision that me and her could see. Number one, we
Mm.
seen something different.
Yep.
It was totally different than what we have been used to decorating. We seen, a place that had a cool silo in the back. It had greenhouses. And at that point in time, nobody that I had ever heard of was doing weddings in a greenhouse type place. And so we just kind of thought outside of the box. And it's weird because people, I mean, we did get made fun of. We made the Trenton Village Idiot Facebook page, which was kind of funny to us. But when we sold our last year there, we did 90 weddings. So we were kind of the ones
Oh,
that,
wow.
hey, we made it work.
Yeah.
We
And it's really it was cute and
Yeah,
it was fun to do. But anyway, our
Yeah.
husbands even told us no. Our husbands were like, absolutely not. You're not doing
Well,
this. But we kind of kept on and on.
and we kind of thought, oh, we could do like a working greenhouse,
Oh
Mm.
But
yes.
so
Yeah.
keeping plants alive is not one of our
No.
things that we do
No.
well.
Oh, that's
so
funny.
We didn't.
Well, a couple of
didn't really-
thoughts here. It sounds like the two of you, have you always kind of shared a brain even when you were younger? Is that something that's been a part of your
Um,
lives?
Probably
we-
more in the
Older.
yeah.
Not younger. We shared a lot of fights. We argued and we
Okay.
fought really
Okay.
bad when we were young. But as we got older, I guess since we started the medical world in the medical world, she's a certified coder and I always dealt with insurance. From there, we've always just had businesses together, starting
That's
way
awesome.
back, and
Yeah.
so
That's great.
it's
And
worked.
obviously you work well together.
Yes, I mean, I do tell her, and she knows it, and everybody. I'm probably the bossy one, and she's
Hmm.
probably more of. She can take a vision and just create. She's very creative, where I'm probably not as creative as
Yeah.
she is. So it works.
Well, tell me a little bit about that then. What's kind of your roles? A lot of times when you have a partnership, I'll do more of this, the other person does more of this. Tell me a little bit about that from each of you. Let's hear that. Those
I think
roles.
she is more of the front person. She does better, like she will do a lot of the tours. Sometimes
Mm.
I'm there as well, but sometimes I'm not. She's kind of that front person. I think I do better in the background, doing I don't know, I like to decorate, so I enjoy that, but I can assist in the back and do whatever you need, but I kind of will be more out of the spotlight and behind the scenes.
Okay.
But sometimes you're in the spotlight.
Sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes some tours she kind of takes over, and it's great and it works. So
I
it's
So
think we have found it works well for us to both be on the tours
Yeah.
because we like to do like if she's talking to them and telling them things, I like to take notes
Yes.
because I like to remember what was said. So
Yeah.
some things
Yeah.
that maybe they had a question about, I will put it in our software in our note field. So when we go back and maybe touch base with them again, we can remember what we told them, what we talked about. So I think it works good to have two people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Us,
No,
it
that
works
is.
well.
Well, and it takes a little longer too. I think the tours take a little longer, which it seems like you have them here a little longer. I honestly sometimes think they've booked just to get out of here, just to get away from us, because we're like,
Let's go.
Brilliant. Brilliant. What a great idea.
how much more are they going to talk? But we just have
Everyone's
fun.
going, I'm going to try that. I'm going to try that
We
method.
just enjoy. I mean, honestly, we enjoy the couples. This is such a fun job. It's rewarding, and I don't know. It's just when you come
Yeah.
from a different world that was high stress. Not that weddings aren't stressful, but it's just a different type. It's just fun. It's fun seeing happy people.
Well, that's awesome. And that kind of brings me to another question I had for you, which is what do you enjoy about doing weddings, either the wedding itself or the business? You touched on that just now, but let's hear a little bit more about that.
Well, I think my favorite part of a wedding is I love to see everybody lining up to get ready to go down the aisle. That is my favorite
Awesome.
time. I love the music playing. I love seeing everybody dressed up. I don't know. It's just something about it that I love that. And so I'm always happy if I'm here and can see everybody coming out the door
Yeah.
and about to go down the aisle. I love that.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, and I love that too. I also love cocktail hour. I love to see people just kind of hanging around, enjoying their time, actually enjoying our space because we have a lot of space here and they tend to go everywhere. And I do love that. So it's just one of those things where
Right.
you like to see people enjoying themselves.
Yeah, that's awesome. Great, great reasons to be there too. And it's nice that you've got the space where they can move around and kind of go where they're comfortable. That's awesome.
Yes.
All right, so sounds amazing. Your venue. I'll throw in that I did drive by there one time, and there were some horses galloping by as I pulled in, and I thought, wow, this place is this is just too much. This is just too perfect. But let's move away from that for just a minute. What advice would you give to a couple preparing for their wedding?
So I can kind of chime in on this one. If there's one piece of advice I would give them is just enjoy the day, relax, take the moment and just kind of just enjoy the whole experience. Also, one thing is to trust, and whether it be here or any other venue, if you've hired people to do the job, just trust those people. Trust them that we have incredible
Mm,
staff here. We have
there you go.
incredible coordinators, and they love what they do. That is one thing. Our people love what they do. So if you trust all of them to do their job, they'll get it done for you. One big thing that me and her were talking about too is have narrow down the people that you want to talk to your venue. So for example, if you
Mm,
have, if it's the bride and groom, but then you have the mother of the bride, the mother of the groom, the grandparents, if you have everybody calling us and asking us multiple questions, sometimes it gets a little crazy, and it's nice to
yeah,
have maybe one or two people that you've narrowed down to where that's who will talk to the venue and
sure.
the staff here.
Yeah,
It just
yep.
makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, and what
Great
route are you
advice.
going to communicate?
Yes.
Is it text? Is it message? Or,
Hmm.
is it through the software that you're using? But if you can narrow that down and be like, this is how we want to communicate so that we don't miss any messages.
Yes. Like our
Yeah,
goal is always communicate through our software, because we have all of our call them staff, but they're really, vendors of ours that work here. So the vendors all are linked up to that software. And so they can see every message that comes through. But if you text, me or her, the bartender or something like that, nobody sees it except for whoever it's going to. And then
yeah.
sometimes those get lost. If you send a text maybe at 9 o'clock at night, well, the next morning you may have, accidentally opened that text. So we love it to come through the software. And our software is great because it'll hold it out there until somebody answers that.
Well, that's a good system that you have there. And I had a comment as you were speaking. Everyone wants to call. It's probably because you're just so fun to talk to. Everyone wants to.
Yes.
What excuse can I have to visit with Rhonda and Lee on the phone? I think that's what's happening. That you also use that when you're doing your tours. So
Yes.
obviously, people enjoy those conversations. But it also tells me that you enjoy what you're doing, and
Yes.
so that's a big part. And possibly like people, so that makes it even better, right?
Yes.
Do you have any interesting stories that you can share with us from your wedding adventures?
Well, we do. And this was actually before we owned a venue and we were decorating, but we were asked to do a remake of the movie Prince of Thieves, Robin Hood, and it was on the Toccoa River.
Okay.
And so we did. And we took all the decor and we set it up and it turned out beautiful, but we did not know that we could not get a car or a vehicle actually to the
Oh,
site
wow.
Or our box truck
or
or our trailer.
any of the decor. We couldn't get it there. We
Okay.
had to use the dad's gator. He met us
Okay.
down the trail. We had to load everything on it
Mm.
and go to the site. And we probably lost 5 pounds just walking.
It was
Oh, wow.
yeah.
But it was fun. It turned out beautiful.
Nice.
We've never done anything like that
Never.
again.
It was fun because, and actually that year, the guy that won Hell's Kitchen, he was
Mm.
their caterer.
Oh,
And
wow.
so it was
That's
massive.
something.
It was incredible. We literally, the bride handed us fruit, a lot of fruit. And she said, I want y'all just to randomly throw it up in the air. Just create almost like it
Okay.
just landed there naturally. And I kept thinking in my mind, is there going to be bear that come get us while we're throwing fruit?
Right.
Because we are a long way from running to a
Yeah.
vehicle. And
Wow.
one of us would have made it, and
Yeah.
one of us probably would have not. But our husbands were, they of course went with us, and because it was a weekend trip, and none of us knew that we were going to be hiking, and so they were not as happy
No.
to find out that we
Okay.
were. It was a massive job, but it was incredible, and it turned out. It was just something. It was really like magical, that wedding.
Well, that's a great story. I love to hear that you are willing to do whatever it takes, even throwing fruit around. Now, these are the same husbands that told you you shouldn't do this because it's not going to work, and you did it
Yes.
anyway? Yeah. Okay. I think by now they might as well be thinking, they probably are just going to do it and it's going to turn out great. Are there any trends that you are seeing with weddings lately?
Yes. So a lot of drapery right now, a lot of just different styles of drapery, just hanging, whether it be gathered or a backdrop. A lot of the more formal, like black tie affair type thing. And just couples wanting more of an experience, like the whole weekend rehearsal that that just where they can enjoy the entire experience weekend. We see that a lot, which is why we built cottages, because if I were a bride, I would not want to rush and I would not want to, just kind of run in and run out. I would want that experience as well. So
Yeah.
that's a lot of what we're seeing, but a lot of the black tie is really popular right now. And I love that. I love it. It's very formal, very elegant. Just really, I like it. Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, that's great. From your point of view, I'm going to take one more second and let him back in before I ask this question. Okay. Got to put him somewhere next time. I think he's chasing a bug or something. I don't know. All right. From your point of view, what does a perfect wedding day look like?
I mean, of course, we love it when it doesn't rain, and we don't have to with that when everybody is just dressed and ready to go and everything's going smoothly. That's what we anticipate. That's what we work toward. And we
Awesome.
have some really, really good people here that even if something does go off the rails a little bit, they're able to handle it. And Rob may never even know that anything is going on. And that's what we want, that where they're not stressed. They don't have to worry about anything except getting married.
Yeah. Just being relaxed, a relaxed atmosphere. And I enjoy, again, I think I've said this in the beginning, seeing people just around the fire pit, just hanging out, talking, because obviously weddings bring family and friends together. And so that's the time where it's almost like a big, huge family reunion, and you love seeing them just enjoying that moment.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. All right. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with us today? Anything else that you'd like for our audience to hear from you?
We're currently booking. We are yes,
Okay.
we're taking lots of bookings. We are ready for 2027. We only have about 2026, maybe 4, maybe 5 spots left that we're wanting to fill.
Okay.
But other than that, we're now booking into 2027. And the weird thing is, just recent, we are now getting inquiries for 2028, which is wonderful for us. But it's odd that we're getting already 2028. So we're very excited about that. But we are now booking. So
Yeah, what a wonderful problem to have.
yes. So
And we love it when they will come tour. One of the things that we didn't have that we do now, we had the candlelight. It's covered. So for ceremony, you're good. One thing that we found was cocktail hour and without having to do a flip. And so now we have covered the back patio, which is behind us, and it overlooks the little pond there. And so that's a great place. If it is raining, we have that cover.
Yeah.
That is easy access and everybody can stay dry, as well as the front of the middle building, which is called Lily's Hall. It has now got a big porch cover on it. So when people are being dropped off and it's rainy, they can just drop off right under that cover and stay dry. So we feel like we've made it very comfortable for certain weather events. So we're happy to let people see that.
We forgot. We also have shuttle vans. So we offer we have 2 shuttle vans. We actually offer shuttling to the local, which is great for our local, like Groovy Nomad, Cabins to Castles, the Alpine House, just different locations, the local golf course up here. So we do a lot of shuttling on our wedding days or wedding nights. We'll go pick people up and then take them back. So if they don't want to drive here, we can shuttle them. That has been huge. That is a plus that we love, because we don't have to worry about, somebody getting out and driving that they don't need to drive. So we do offer 2 shuttle vans.
You mean because they're tired and they don't need to
tired.
drive?
They're so tired and they've had so much fun.
They've been dancing so hard that they just are not fit to drive.
That's
yes,
right.
I get that. Well, this is great. It's been delightful visiting with you both. And so this is Rhonda and Leah from the venue at Lilly Lou's The Pines. And this has been another episode of Eventful Endeavors. Thanks for joining us today. You want to say goodbye?
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank
Bye-bye,
you.
everyone.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Eventful Endeavors, Secrets to Crafting the Perfect Celebration. We hope to have left you with some actionable ideas for your own event. If you like the show, please subscribe and definitely leave us a review. We read every comment. So until next time, happy planning and see you soon on Eventful Endeavors.